The Curse of the Black Cat, a Halloween Tale. Chapter 1, The Mysterious Cat. It was a chilly October evening in the small town of Ravenshade. The streets were lined with carved pumpkins, flickering candles casting eerie shadows on the cobblestone pathways. The scent of autumn leaves and distant bonfires filled the air as children, dressed as ghosts and witches, roamed around, their laughter echoing through the night. However, in the heart of the town, at the edge of the dark whispering woods, stood an old abandoned house. It was a house everyone avoided, especially on Halloween. The reason? A black cat with glowing yellow eyes that was said to be cursed. Legends whispered that whoever crossed paths with this cat on Halloween night would face a terrible fate. Some claimed it was a witch's familiar. Others said it was the spirit of an ancient sorcerer trapped in feline form. Whatever the truth was, no one dared to go near that house. But not everyone in Ravenshade was afraid of old legends. Chapter 2, The Dare. 4 teenagers, Ethan, Lily, Max, and Sarah, stood outside the whispering woods, staring at the silhouette of the old house. "I don't believe in curses," Ethan said, crossing his arms. "It's just a cat." Lily shivered. "Maybe, but you know what happened to Mr. Thompson last year? He saw the cat, and the next day, he fell down the town's well." "That was just a coincidence," Max laughed. "Let's settle this once and for all. Let's go in and see the cat ourselves." Sarah hesitated. "I don't know, guys. My grandma always warned me about this place." But Ethan was already walking toward the house. With a reluctant sigh, Sarah followed. The wooden door creaked open, revealing a dusty hallway. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling, and a faint whispering sound filled the air. Then, they saw it. A pair of glowing yellow eyes appeared in the darkness. A sleek black cat stepped forward, its tail swishing ominously. The moment their eyes met, the door behind them slammed shut. Chapter 3, The Curse Awakens. A sudden gust of wind blew through the house, knocking over an old lantern. The flame flickered, casting monstrous shadows on the walls. The cat let out a low, menacing growl, and the air grew heavy, as if an unseen force had taken hold of them. "We need to get out of here," Lily cried, pulling at the door handle. It wouldn't budge. Max grabbed his phone, but the screen was filled with static. "No signal," he muttered. The cat slowly approached, its gaze locking onto Ethan. Suddenly, his body stiffened and his eyes widened in terror. He began to whisper in a strange, ancient language, words that none of them understood. "What's happening to him?" Sarah screamed. The cat let out an ear-piercing screech, and the room spun around them. When the spinning stopped, they were no longer in the house. Chapter 4, Trapped in the Past. They stood in a village that looked eerily similar to Ravenshade, but it wasn't the present. The buildings were old, people dressed in medieval clothing, and the air smelled of burning wood. A woman with fiery red hair stood in the town square, bound to a wooden stake. The villagers surrounded her, shouting, "Witch! Witch!" The teenagers gasped. The woman's eyes were identical to the cat's. Ethan, still under some spell, stepped forward. His voice was no longer his own. "You do not understand what you have done. You have cursed this land for generations." Max grabbed his arm. "Ethan, snap out of it." But Ethan turned, and for a split second, his eyes glowed yellow, just like the cat's. Suddenly, a blinding light engulfed them, and they were back in the house. The cat sat in the center of the room, watching them. Chapter 5, The Truth Revealed. Sarah gasped for breath. What just happened?" The cat blinked slowly, and a voice echoed in their minds. "You have seen the past. Now you know the truth." The voice belonged to the witch. Long ago, she had been wrongly accused and burned at the stake. But before her final breath, she cursed the town, vowing to return on Halloween night. Her soul had taken the form of the black cat, bound to the house until someone brave enough witnessed the truth. Lily swallowed hard. "Then how do we break the curse?" The cat's eyes flickered. "Set me free." Chapter 6, Breaking the Curse. Ethan, now himself again, stepped forward. How do we do that? The cat led them to an old book resting on a table. Dusting it off, Max read aloud. To break the spell, one must speak the witch's true name. But we don't know it, Sarah whispered. The cat gazed at them expectantly. Then, deep in their minds, they heard the name. Eleanor. As soon as the name left their lips, the house shook violently. A gust of wind howled through the room, and the cat let out one final cry before dissolving into golden light. The door flung open and they rushed outside, gasping as the first rays of dawn touched the sky. Chapter 7: A New Dawn. The house crumbled before their eyes, disappearing into dust. The curse was broken. In the distance, they heard a soft whisper, almost like a thank you. As they walked back to town, the sun rising behind them, Ethan turned to the others. So, I guess we just freed a centuries-old witch's soul. Lily laughed nervously. Yeah. Happy Halloween, I guess. And for the first time in centuries, the town of Ravenshade was free from the curse of the Black Cat.